on the topic, the OTT impact in Indian media. And who better than the stalwart himself, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for Dr. Annurag Batra, Chairman and Editor-in-Chief, Exchange for Media and BW Businessworld Media Group.
Good afternoon. It's my honor and privilege to be here at the IWMBuzz India Web Fest Season 7. Kudos to Siddharth and Franklin for doing it year on year and doing it well, and doing it on a day when there is rains in Mumbai. So kudos to you for making it. It shows your commitment to the craft of being in this domain. You know, when I'm speaking now at 12, it's almost 1:10 or 1:15, right? I have the onerous task of being between your lunch and my talk. I need to get your attention, and everything that needs to be said about OTT has been said. I am not an OTT player. I'm not even an expert in anything. I'm just a learner, and I am lucky enough to know what's happening in the media domain. Since the time I started Exchange for Media 25 years back, a lot has changed in this industry, and it changes every minute, every week, every fortnight. It's the most dynamic industry that one can be. And it's an industry full of paradoxes. It's not a either-or industry, it's an and industry. And India is a unique, we keep saying, oh, linear TV is dead. I'm sure somebody in the day must have said, linear TV is dead or will be dead. I've been hearing about the demise of radio for 20 years. I've been hearing about the demise of newspapers for 10 years. Just to tell you, Bhaskar had a 360 crore plus profit, and I can give you numbers for all newspapers. I've been hearing about magazines being dead. I was at the Indian Magazine Congress 14 days back, and I have some idea of numbers of the magazine brands and how they've reinvented themselves. So first of all, let me say that I have the same task or the same challenge that the seventh husband of Elizabeth Taylor faced on the night of the honeymoon. She married 8 times. This is the 7th husband. You know what the challenge was for the 7th husband? Do you know what the challenge was? Would you like to know? On the night of the honeymoon, the 7th husband of Elizabeth Taylor said to Elizabeth Taylor, darling, I know what I'm supposed to do, but I hope I make it interesting. So I hope whatever I say, I make it interesting and relevant. Second is, I was going to use a PowerPoint presentation, but then Siddharth told me that PowerPoint presentations are used by people who are neither powerful nor have a point of view. And I'm Siddharth friend, so I'm not using one. First of all, OTT is here to stay and grow. You know that. Just to give you a sense of advertising numbers in OTT, we are going beyond 40,000 crores. And of course, YouTube is a big part of it. Then is the Jio Hotstar. So clearly, when we talk of OTT, we talk of Amazon, Netflix, and they are doing very well in India, and the regional player. But YouTube is the biggest OTT, with a recent movie being exclusively kind of streamed, and you can buy the content, shows that the biggest OTT is YouTube, okay? And while we talk of OTT, we tend to talk of other players. Second, OTT is about choice. OTT is creating more choice for viewers. It's creating more choice for artists. I was with some actors on Monday at the Businessworld Design Forum, and as much as they like to work for the big screen, for the theatrical releases, a lot of good work they're doing is on OTT because the medium has traction. We already know that OTT has made sure that my time as prime time, we can view anytime, anywhere. I have a favorite show, it's called GPS by Fareed Zakaria on CNN. I don't miss it on Sunday, wherever I am, for the last 8-9 years, maybe 10 years, and I watch it earlier. I live in Delhi, I go to Gurgaon, my parents live in there. My father lives there now. I lost my mother 10 months back. And when on Sunday I go to my parents, I would make sure that I'm back at home by 7:30 p.m. But now I watch it on my phone. I'm in the car or wherever I am, I'm watching that show. So clearly, OTT for the last 6-7 years has become the mainstream screen for content consumers. The issue is, if we go back to, I read this book by Morgan Housel, who wrote The Psychology of Money. It's called Same as Ever. It basically says the more things change, the more they stay the same. And just to give you a parallel from the broadcasting world, we had the cable operators, and he or she would aggregate whatever comes into your home for a certain fee, a monthly fee. Currently, the issues about OTT are discoverability is a big issue. I think anybody who in this room can solve discoverability, and there are players attempting that, right, will create a business or an impactful service. Why I say that? 30 years back, there was TV Guide, and then there have been many attempts to create apps that help you in discoverability. So the next wave of OTT will have players who will help you in discovering content. Right now, the algos push a certain kind of content to you. OTT players are more tech players than content players. They're a combination of tech and content. So like you had the cable operator aggregating content for you, the future is about, there is OTT play here. It may be early years for them, but over the next 3 to 6 years, at least there'll be multiple players, I don't know, 2, 4, 10, which will help you in discoverability, which will help you in aggregation. They will aggregate all the OTT platforms, and not only in national platforms and Indian language platforms, but they will also aggregate global platforms, because the beauty is right now we are accessing content in various languages which is dubbed. So you will see players in the ecosystem that will lead to discoverability of content, that lead to aggregation, and that lead to global aggregation. One of the trends in the last 6 years is getting accentuated is the growth of regional and Indian language content. Naveen is here. He's trying to build content in that space, in the movie space. It is still a very small sliver of the pie. That will grow hugely. Also, there are themes in OTT which are growing. I was talking to Markand Adhikari of Sub TV, who does know a little bit about content. And he, as a viewer, he was telling me about 3 series, which I thought was very relevant for what's happening. He, of course, was the first one to tell me to watch Khaki. And then he told me, right now I've not seen it, it's called Salakar, it's based on, right? And then one more series. All the themes are nationalistic themes. All the, they're about. So themes in content that have either a nationalistic appeal or biopics or factual storytelling of real incidents, which is how cinema was crafted, is growing. The reason I talk about it when I talk about regional and Indian language content is that there are many stories like that in regional content which are going to see the light of the day. I am privy to another content piece. The actor is my friend, so he shared it with me on Sunday. I went to Shirdi with him, and he was showing me the content. More and more regional and Indian language content will get created. More and more money will go after it. There is something called fast, free advertising supported television. I won't say linear TV is gonna die. I believe in India everything coexists. You have a small basic phone that coexists, and you have a high-end 2 lakh rupee phone that coexists. India is a country which can take multiple. You can look at it in cars, you can look at it in phones, you can look at it in hotels. You take any category, it's not either or. There are takers for. So I don't think linear TV is going to die. But yes, I would say over the next 10 years, 5, 6 years, there may be a law of diminishing returns setting on linear TV. With the advent of FAST, which is the free advertising supported TV, you will see players building business models in OTT that will make them profitable. The most important, I see Rajiv Roda here. Rajiv and Shibani are my friend for 25 years, maybe 27, 28 years. And the biggest thing OTT platforms are doing is to be able to give specialized niche content and content creators a lease of life. The real issue that OTT content creators, OTT platform owners, and OTT ecosystem players have to watch is about the kind of content. 3 weeks back, my friend Uday Mahurkar, who 1.5 years back had launched a a campaign against a certain kind of content, and he believes strongly that that kind of content is leading to certain kind of thoughts in young people, and hence that kind of content should be banned. So without taking the name of the platforms, 3 weeks back, certain kind of content was banned, right? Now, banning the content is one view, but creating that content, there are people who are creating that. And I know it's their livelihood, and there are people watching it, right? So I don't want to be moralistic about it, but I genuinely believe that when it comes to content creation and the social media that spreads that content so fast, we have to be more responsible. I read this book called Careless. Has anybody read this book? Right? It's a book that came out a couple of months back, and it is written by the former public policy head of Meta. She was a diplomat in New Zealand, and then she chased the Facebook founder and the top executives in late 2000s to join Facebook, and she spent 12 years at Facebook or Meta. And she talks about a lot of things in the book. I'm not endorsing the book. I'm just a reader of the book. I buy too many books. But the point she makes is that big social media companies, tech companies only worry about one thing. You can guess what that is. Moolah. I think while money does make things happen, it's needed to be able to build good content, to be able to pay artists, to be able to get top tier artists, to be able to host. What works is also creating content in a certain way that is more palatable to our society. I was at a real estate forum early in the morning, and I was talking that every year we do this real estate conference. In Juhu, flats are going for 120 crores, 150 crores. In a certain part of Gurgaon, a certain developer is selling flats at 8 million, 9 million, 10 million. But every year it rains. BMC has a 70,000 crore budget. 70,000 crore budget. And we are not able to find solutions, and solutions exist. In China, you have something called the sponge roads. So the materials used in the roads are such, the moment it rains, the roads absorb the water. So actually after 10 minutes, 8 minutes, there's no water on roads in China. I'm sure with the dynamic leadership we have both at government and in Maharashtra, we will see these solutions. But the fact is every year we deal with these things. The reason I'm saying is our affluence may be growing, but is our quality of life growing? And I want to draw the parallel to OTT. Me and my wife watched a movie after many years together. We watched this movie called Metro. We'd watched it earlier, and it's a lovely movie. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining, it was thoughtful, it was well made, good cast, and it was the whole movie experience. I watched it on big screen. On Saturday I watched F1, and I promised my son I'll watch Superman with him. I'm not sure he wants to watch it with me, but I do definitely want to watch it with him. The reason I'm saying is content which is responsible and in some ways mirror of our society works well. It's not about money. I think the content creators and leaders, some of you have influence in the kind of content being created. We have to be responsible. So OTT is here to stay. OTT is mainstream media now, it's not OTT. I think in a couple of years, everything else will be, so to say, niche and marginal. And I keep saying that we are in, whether it's Exchange for Media or Businessworld, we are not in the business of magazines, website, events. We're in the business of serving content and having audiences. We are in the business of brand and content. How the content funnels, tomorrow there may be a Businessworld OTT, I wouldn't call it anything else, a pure play video platform. So clearly, everything we see in content format will be OTT. Whether you want to call it web, OTT, digital broadcast platforms, it doesn't matter. Content consumption and commerce will go hand in hand. The biggest OTT platforms are today also creating social commerce. If you look at the behavior of citizens or digital netizens on the internet, today furniture is being bought on digital. Real estate is being searched on real estate, and real estate leads are coming through online. I'm not saying it's being bought. House of Abhinandan Lodha put certain property on Zepto last week, right? Maybe it will lead to leads. I'm not sure it'll have buying today, but who knows in the future through virtual walkthrough. So OTT is about content, it is about community, and it is about commerce. The future of OTT players is bright. However, I must end by warning, I hope in lots of businesses there are monopolies. There may be homegrown monopolies that may be lurking. You can read in between the lines. Or there may be monopolies that are clearly in the social media play. There are two large players. Last year was a watershed year for the advertising industry. $1.1 trillion was spent in advertising, out of which $650 billion were digital media and $360 billion was newspapers, magazines, and traditional media, broadcast. Out of the 650, $460 billion went to two players. And it's only growing. This year it's likely to be more than 500 billion. So I hope when Indian OTT landscape grows, multiple players grow. It's not just a duopoly or a monopoly of a player or 2-3 players. I think that's my wish and vision for this industry. I met some of the players on my way to the conference hall, and I can only say the Indian OTT space is like an Indradhanush. It has multiple hues and colors. That's how I'd like to see it grow and see all the players develop and be big and be impactful. Kudos to IWMBuzz for the India Web Fest, and hope you create responsible platforms and responsible content which is not just entertaining but brings social change. Thank you. God bless you.